Hello out there. This is Howler Mouse coming at you on December 5th, 2024 for you people in the future. Um, we have a comic book haul for December 2024 here. This is stuff that I have ordered online, through an online comic book store, of course. This stuff goes back to about August, and I think the theme of all this should be everything old is new again. And as we go through here, you'll see why. I'm also going to include some books I got at a local, how can we say this, secondhand store, if you will. It had a Thanksgiving sale going on. I got a few cool things there, so let's just move ahead here, right? So what you see before you right here is Archie Comics doing a facsimile edition of a 1968-ish, I do believe, double entendre cover. Betty and Me number 16. If you've been on the internet any since the late 90s to early 2000s into today, this used to pop up every now and then because of the double entendre that you see here. Apparently in the 60s, it still was a much more innocent time because I don't think this was considered dirty at the time. Archie is carrying out his girl. Well, for this week, apparently. You know, he went back and forth. And we have our three guys here out in the water here, all beat up. She goes, Archie, did you have any trouble rescuing me? He goes, I sure did, Betty. I had to beat off three other guys. And if you guys remember, because you're going to see a lot of facsimile editions here for anybody that's out there that's seasoned or unseasoned, around 2019, one Mr. Dan Didio, who pretty much ran DC there for several years. I think he was at a comic book convention or a retailer summit or something. But anyway, DC had put out some of their first facsimile editions, if my memory serves. And facsimile editions are, of course, the complete comic with the actual ads and everything in them. They also had dollar comics of that were putting on the stands through Marvel, and also DC has done a few. And Dan Didio asked the crowd, did any of you buy any of those facsimile editions that we put out? Nobody in the crowd said anything. And then all of a sudden he said, good. This is in a Bleeding Cool article that should still be up from 2019 if you guys still follow comic book news online. But anyway, so he got out there and said those outsold our new comics, the facsimile editions did, and we need to move forward. And now here we are years later, and I think that kind of says everything we need to know about modern, majority, some of modern comics, however you want to do it. If you're a fan of the stuff, that's good. But that's okay because the facsimile editions, that's cool, but I have the original that I found at a pawn shop last year. And after getting a little, stack up at this pawn shop, and I did the math, this book came to about $2.68 or so, right? So here's the original. When I got to the car and decided to look up the value of this book, I figured, it's probably a $75, $80 book. At the time last year in 2023, this book actually, mint copy went for $900. This is mid-grade, so this is a $400 to $500 book. But that's okay because now I have a facsimile edition to play with, Good times. Okay, moving on here, some sort of newer stuff. When I was a kid, I watched Wizards, Ralph Bakski's Wizards, Ralph Bakski's Lord of the Rings, American Pop, Heavy Metal, the cartoon movie, many and other things, to the point to where we had Fire and Ice in 1983. Frank Frazetta designed characters, Roy Thomas script, Ralph Bakski doing his rotoscope, and they had brought in at, who's this, IDW? Nope, Dynamite. Dynamite is just nailing it. Dynamite Comics has been putting out this prequel miniseries that number 3 has finally come out. And this has been going on for over a year, right? So I got all of the covers. Here's a Linzer cover that's just beautiful. And I was waiting for the entire series to come out because I had a feeling that it would be late, but not this late. And they have Bill Willingham of Elementals fame, Green Lantern fame, all the way up to Fables fame. And I had to finally take a peek. And this is just fantastic. This is a prequel to the Fire and Ice. You can probably find it on Tubi for free. and it's just beautiful. They're really tapping into a lot of Frankfurt Zeta here and stuff, right? So check out that movie. Check out, and from what I've seen, go ahead and check out this series. But I've been getting all the multiple covers that are available, and that leads us to Johnny Quest, also through Dynamite. They're also putting out Space Ghost. That was in my last haul. I'm a Johnny Quest nut. I have the DVD. When I was a kid in the 70s, I would get up at 6 in the morning, belly crawl through the hall in order to not wake anybody up. So at 6 o'clock, I could see the syndicated cartoons. I didn't know they were syndicated cartoons. I just thought they were the cooler ones before the Super Friends came on and all the Scooby-Doo and Harlem Globetrotters and that one season of Fantastic Four and stuff, because they had Battle of the Planets, Space Ninja Gatchaman, G-Force, just depending on what decade you found them. Mine was Battle of the Planets, and it was followed by Johnny Quest. Like I said, I have all the Kamiko issues that were just fantastic, and now Joe Casey is writing this one. And I flipped through the first issue, looks pretty good. There's a grown-up Johnny Quest meeting a younger Johnny Quest. We're playing with time travel, I guess. And it was so cool to see an older Johnny Quest that, as much as I love the Venture Brothers, I feel like in my mind it's redeeming considering what they did to Johnny Quest as a grown up. I did order the Jay Lee covers. These are multiple covers, did not get them, so strike against the online comic store. I may have to move to another one since they've had new ownership. Here we have number 11 and 12 of the JSA Justice Society of America miniseries by Jeff Johns. And number 11 actually ends the series story. From what I could tell following it, there was a 6-issue story, and then it kind of continued with other things. And Jeff Johns apparently has really been on a kick of getting villains into super teams. He did it with Lex Luthor and the Justice League, like, what was it, a decade ago or so? Or has it been that long? And now we've had a JSA team where they brought in villains also. But what was great about this second arc, if you will, is that he brought in the Legion of Superheroes. They've come back in the past. I'm not going to say why and spoil it, but we ended up having I think it's a Justice, Justice, I got to reread it. I kind of skimmed through it. Justice Society of America in the 31st Century, made of villains. And if you think that's a new thing, just remember, I think it was Avengers 16 back in the Silver Age. Captain America formed a team with Hawkeye, Captain America, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. That was a mouthful to get out. They were also ex-villains at the time. And then we also had the Thunderbolts, and all that stuff. But anyway, I got this issue in particular because it is a Tony Harris cover. I ordered 2 of them. They sent me one. Starman is not in this. Okay. Starman is not in this, but that's a Tony Harris Starman cover that I had to have. So, I guess this is an all right series. Jeff Johns definitely has done better, so who knows what's going on. And this issue ended up being number 12 of the series, but it has nothing to do with the previous 11. This is the 25th anniversary issue of Stargirl, formerly Star Spangled Kid. Jeff Johns based her on his sister, Courtney, who passed away in a plane crash in the 90s. And I'm on the 3rd season, finally, of the Stargirl series that has been canceled. I've been watching it on Tubi and a little bit on Max, trying to take it in. I want to finish it up, but it goes pretty much by her actual series from 1999. So that was kind of cool to get. She's graduating high school. This has got to be my 3rd, 4th, possibly 5th reprint / facsimile edition, a reprint of House of Secrets number 92, which is the first appearance of Swamp Thing, despite it not being Alec Holland proper. I've had one chance to buy the actual comic, and I should have went for it. That was 15 years ago. Water under the bridge. But anyway, a lot of people who became quite commonly known there for a while, but Louise Simonson, actually Bernie Wrightson had her model for this cover, based this girl off of her. And of course she went on to be an editor on X-Men with Claremont, saved the X Factor book of 85, had a hand in with Rob Liefeld over Cable, and then went on to play around with Killing Superman in the 90s. She also Power Pack, that was her, June Brigman's baby. So 12 years old, I am buying Crisis on Infinite Earths back in the 80s. That was 39 years ago. 2015, in a month, will be the 40th anniversary of DC's 50th anniversary book, Crisis on Infinite Earths. You should know what this is by now. But I still have my original issues. They were signed by George Perez and Marv Wolfman back in 2013 or 14. They're beat up, and I'm fine with that. But if you had told a 12-year-old little howler mouse that I would be buying these foil variants of each one after, like, back in number 11 came out right when I was able to find number 4. You really had to work for your comics back then, you know. Anyway, but if you had told me I was going to be buying these, I would be blown away and could not believe it, right? So these are just fantastic, right? Great stuff, right? Good stuff. Very happy with that, right? Little interlude here. 2 Blu-rays that I got. Watchmen Chapter 2 Digital Code. I'll watch this. Thumbs up. Slight changes. Just because of felt like pacing issues that was going on, because you have the motion comic if you want a complete complete faithful adaptation of the book. I just think they had one actor doing all the character voices. This has been fantastic. I absolutely love this, right? Straight to DVD. And I've talked Legion of Superheroes many times over the years. I have several videos you can look up where I talk about my favorite Legion stories. I've been a Legion fan since I was a kid, and I often reference a 2000, I think it was 5 or 6, Warner Brothers animation series that came on. I think it was WB back then. Did they turn into WB, or were they still? Yeah, we'll just say that the CW was still WB. I don't know, right? But there was 2 seasons. I absolutely love this. If you have watched this, let me know about the animation style, because I think it is Warner. It just comes up as Warner Brothers Animation, and they ship a lot of stuff overseas. They work with several other people, but I think this particular group of animators, if you will, went on to do Brave and the Bold or something. The style's killing me. I can't put my finger on it, but I thought the first season was fantastic. Second season, a little bit of a mixed bag, but they did. Well, anyway, we'll get a review later. We got things to show here. All right, so let's show some of those back issues I got on Thanksgiving. We got Gru. I thought it was funny that I'm chipping away at this 120 issue run for Marvel Epic. I'm telling you, man, I think it was Gru number 12 or something. It was like a Peter Frampton record in the 70s. It seems like everybody had that in the 80s. But anyway, issue 32, I thought it was funny that I found one with a turkey on it, considering it was a Thanksgiving sale. It turns out that when I got home and really looked at it, Rufio, I think it's his name. Seems like he has some T's in his name. Anyway, his loyal dog that just loves him when nobody else can stand Gru, if you will, is looking at him with admiration and love. He just showed up in issue 28 or 29 or something, right? And then I finally realized Gru must be hungry because he just sees a meal. That's not a turkey, that's a dog. You gotta love Sergio. X-Files annual number 1 from the Topps Comics, and -1 minus X-Files -1. This is probably a little bit of a $10 book, I think. I should have looked it up before I said that. And -2, these are hard to find reprint stories. If you like Mars Attacks, there's a little tie-in here, right? I've been very forgiving of this series. I was an X-Files nut in the 90s. I was actually one of the people that wrote a letter to a local Fox station asking them to bring it back, because people forget X-Files was canceled in the first season. And it got brought back due to a letter writing campaign and whatnot. Also, Hellspawn number, what is this? Number 6 and 7 that are backwards. I think this is written by Bendis. This is written by Steve Niles. And this has to do with Miracleman. And this was one of the things that led to the lawsuit between Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman over rights of characters and who owns what. Who owns Angela, guys? Who owns Medieval Spawn? And who owned Miracleman, guys? That people had to know. But this ended up going nowhere. Legend has it that they were leading up to a Miracleman proper appearing in the Spawn universe, if you will. And so they introduced, you see a cameo in the first appearance. These were actually hot back in the day for a whole 5 minutes. So I found them on sale, decent price, very good price, actually. What was it? $4 a piece, and there was some kind of big discount on it. So I'm going to go say $250, I guess. But those were hot books. And that's just because I'm a Miracleman completist. And then we're back to everything old is new again. These are newer books. I've said it. I love these reprints. Dark Horse is putting out the entire library of EC comics and these $20 trades. I've been getting them at discounted prices off of Amazon. I think I did get one or two off of eBay. I have a video that said, did Amazon destroy my books, when I ordered 3 at once, because they were just like a soup. They were priced great prices, you know. So yeah, I've been getting these great. When I buy them new, they're 35% off. Guys, this is the stuff. This is the stuff. Jack Davis, Joe Orlando, Wally Wood, Harvey Kurtzman. Oh my God, Bill Elder. Just great stuff. So that's Tales of the Crypt, Volume 4. Haunt of Fear, number 4. If you loved the series, the TV series, I have it all. I have all of the... I've got all those at a flea market, the entire set of Tales from the Crypt, the TV show that was on HBO. You can go on Wikipedia, look at the episode list, and as you read through the the titles and who wrote and the air date of each episode, it also tells you which EC comic story in these anthology series they took the plot from or loosely based them on. And the last two things we got, guys. Everything old is new again. Here's Back Issue Magazine 155, looking at 70s horror. This is a great cover. This issue is haunted. There is no escape from Back Issue. Just what a way to go. And they cover House of Mystery, House of Secrets, The Unexpected, Haunted Tank, Marvel's horror titles, Eerie Publication, Elvira's House of Mystery. The Comics Code Authority really lightened up in the 70s, so they were able to kind of bring back some of the horror genre. And Joe Orlando really led the House of Mystery and House of Secret books and all that stuff like that. So there's a renaissance of horror in the early 70s, the Bronze Age. One of the reasons it's my favorite era of comics. So this is fantastic. Even before Neil Gaiman came on with Cain and Abel, they were just two of my favorite characters. They just had a striking look. And we're going to go ahead and open this because this is a facsimile edition of something that I saw as a kid in the late 70s into the 80s. I always saw the ad for this to order it. But this is a Treasury edition, limited comics edition, if you will. Facsimile edition. I think this came out in 1975. Jim Aparo cover. They had fun back then. You could actually cut this up, make a diorama, if you know what that is. I'm sure some of y'all do. The front cover. And look at this. This is the good stuff. Secrets of the Batcave, 1968. This is the kind of stuff that would suck me into comics. I remember reading Steve Ditko doing, a whole page explaining Spider-Man's gear, how the web shooters work, how his sleeves were short so nobody would see it, how he placed the spider web, the web shooter trigger way back on his hand so he wouldn't accidentally hit it when he made a fist. I love this stuff, but these are Golden Age stories of Joker and Penguin and Two-Face back when he was Harvey Kent in the 40s. Look at this, guys. Look at this. That is history, man. That is history. And Roy Thomas, when he came to DC, was such... actually had this Batman 100-page special. This is the cover of. I think it's a Russ Heath drawing there. But anyway, he was such a... Roy Thomas really liked to explain everything and have everything tied up and with a neat little bow on it with continuity wise. So since Harvey Kent was originally, that was his last name instead of Harvey Dent, he wanted to make Harvey Kent Superman's cousin through the Kents. So Two-Face and Clark Kent almost were related, guys. Anyway, thanks for sticking around with the haul. Subscribe, like this video, share it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've read any of this stuff. Let me know if you even like any of this stuff. And hit that bell when you subscribe because we do live shows here. They've been a blast here over the last couple months. So check those out also. Okay, later, guys. Read your comics. Great seeing everybody. Great hearing from everybody. And be excellent to each other.